Do you need to work out how much helium is in your cylinder? Are you getting prepared for a busy week of balloons and need to know if you have enough helium to inflate all the balloons on order? Want a really simple way of doing things without loads of complicated calculations? If so, this video is just for you. One of the things that makes me anxious is the thought of having to let customers down. It gives me cold sweats just thinking about it. Over the years, I have worked out simplified ways of doing things, and ensuring I have enough helium is key. In this video, I'm going to share my process with you. Hi there, I'm Sonia, founder of the Balloon Biz Academy, and today's video is going to really help you in the day-to-day running in your business. One of the questions I commonly see asked in the Balloon Facebook forums is how much helium is left in my cylinder. You have your cylinder and the gauge is showing however many bars or psi in pressure, but how many balloons will this actually inflate? No one wants to get caught short and run out of helium. And with the current manufacturer restrictions where you have to take a cylinder back to get another one, you really need to keep on top of how much helium you have. If you've already tried Googling this, then no doubt you will have come across loads of complicated maths equations to calculate the volume of a gas in a cylinder. They are enough to make your head spin and your eyes pop. And if you're starting to groan and get a headache at this point, then don't worry, you don't need a maths degree. Today we're going to look at a super simple way to work out how much helium is left. It's what I use in my own business, and I've done all the complicated equations for you. I've created some fantastic cheat sheets to really speed up the process of calculating how much helium is left in the cylinder. But before we get on to the calculations, there are a couple of things that you need. So first up, you need a way of measuring the pressure in your cylinder. In order to do this, you need a gauge. If you're using a Bock Genie cylinder, you will have a built-in digital display that you can see by pressing the button, and it shows you how much is left in the cylinder by the number of lines left. It starts off with 10 lines and then works down as you use the helium. If you're using air products of Bock traditional type metal helium cylinders, they need a gauge which reads the pressure in bars or psi. So air products come with a gauge as part of the cylinder. Bock cylinders, however, do not come with a gauge, so you'll need to make sure you have a valve that contains a gauge. The very cheap basic Bock valve inflators do not have a gauge, so you will need to invest in a professional valve to be able to calculate the amount of helium in the cylinder. The second thing you'll need is the free printable, how much helium is left in your cylinder. And you can get this from the Balloon Biz Academy. You can download it by going to the blog. I'll put the link below. It's in the free resources there, but I'll put the link that will take you straight through to the free resource library. It's packed full of free resources to help you run and grow your business. So in the cheat sheet, you will find printables for Bock and for air products. I've done all the hard work and calculated how many 11-inch balloons are left in your cylinder, depending on how much pressure there is. So for those of you that want to be able to do the actual calculations yourself, perhaps you use a cylinder that's not listed in the cheat sheets because you're outside the UK, you use a different manufacturer. They're in the back here. And there's also a free chart that you can print out for later, so you can fill your own in, and you've just got to look back at it, so you've only got to do the calculations once. So the cheat sheets show how many 11-inch balloons are left. But what if this week you're wanting to inflate a whole host of different balloons? Well, I've got that covered too. So this is how I actually calculate helium requirements in my own business. So I work out how many 11-inch balloons I've got in my cylinder, and then I work out if I've got all different types of foils, bubbles, etc. How many 11-inch balloons does that equate to? So I can add them all together and then work out if I've got enough left. And I've worked out the commonest ones for you. So Here you can see I've written down, so a 16-inch latex, the gas capacity, and how many 11-inch latex that's equivalent to. We've got hot foils, we've got bubbles, cubies, diamonds, and the commonest manufacturers for the numbers and the letters. So let's work through this together step by step, because it's much easier if we work through a calculation together. So for the standard brown helium cylinders, you need to make sure you have your gauge attached and open. So you need to turn the gas onto your cylinder and the needle will jump up to read the pressure. This is quite important because you need to know the pressure when the cylinder is open and the gas is flowing through the gauge. It will read a different pressure when the valve is closed. With the Genies, you don't have to do this. You just count the lines on the display. For the traditional cylinders, the valve needs to be open. So step 2, we're going to read the pressure in the cylinder. And there are 2 measurements on the gauge. The outside blue numbers are PSI, pounds per square inch, and the inside red numbers are bar. And it's the inside bar that we read mostly here in the UK and what the cheat sheets are based on. So read your gauge, and if we look at this example here, you can see that the needle is sitting on about 118. It's a T-size box cylinder. So we can work out, step 3, we can work out the number of 11-inch latex in the cylinder. So if we look it up on the cheat sheet, if we find box, here, and what we can see is that 120 has approximately 135 11-inch latex. So we've got just under that. So we're looking at about 130-ish. And I always take off 20 latex just to be sure. Sometimes helium is lost while inflating due to poor technique or overinflation. So this is not an exact science, and it's always best to err on the side of caution. But for argument's sake, I'm going to say I have around 130 11-inch latex left in this cylinder. So step 4, we need to convert the number and types of balloons we need to inflate this week into 11-inch balloon equivalent. So the amount of helium for an 11-inch. Now the capacity of an 11-inch balloon is 0.0141 meters cube. And we can find out the gas capacity of most balloons through the manufacturer information. I should just point out there are 2 ways of measuring gas capacity. There's cubic feet and cubic meters. Neither's wrong or right. The UK tends to use metric, whilst a lot of the rest of the world uses imperial measurements. But for these calculations, using these figures in the cheat sheets, you need to use cubic meters. So let's look at helium jumbo numbers, the 34-inch ones. They do vary in size and the amount of helium they need, so depending on the number and the shape. So for example, a number 1 will require less helium than a number 8, for example. Now I don't have time to calculate every type of number, the exact amount of helium. So what I do is take the largest helium capacity for a 34-inch numbers, and I just use this as my calculation for all numbers. Because then I'll know for definite that I'm going to have enough helium, and it's only about knowing you've got enough at the end of the day, or whether you need to get another cylinder. So in the cheat sheet, I've given you the highest gas capacity numbers for the most common manufacturers. So here we go. So on this sheet, we can see that Qualitek's largest number is 0.05. And this equates to approximately 4 11-inch latex. So if we look at latex balloons, here we can see that a 16-inch equivalent is about 3 11-inch latex. So bubbles, again, 24-inch bubbles are equivalent to approximately 3 11-inch latex, and so on. All you have to do is divide the gas capacity of the balloon, the gas capacity here, by 0.014, and you get the equivalent number of 11-inch balloons. So to make it easy, I've done the most common for you, and I've also put in here a calculation if you have to work it out. So you've got your gas capacity here, and you just divide it by 0.014, 0.14. Just remember it's in meters cubed. So now we know the equivalent. All we have to do is add up the 11-inch equivalent. So, for example, if this weekend I have orders for 10 24-inch bubbles, 3 bouquets of 3 latex, and 4 34-inch numbers, then I need to know if I've got enough helium in that 118 bar T cylinder to do the work, to complete the jobs. So 24-inch bubbles, approximately 3 11-inch latex. So 10 is going to be 30 11-inch latex. I've got 9 11-inch latex in the 3 bouquets, and 4 34-inch numbers is approximately 16 11-inch. So if I add this all together, I have the equivalent of approximately 55 11-inch latex in my orders. So my cylinder has more than enough to complete the orders this weekend. There are some factors you need to take into account. You do need to take into account that popped or faulty balloons will require more helium, obviously. Poor inflation technique can also cause gas to leak while inflating. So if you haven't got the best inflation technique, and let's face it, you know, sometimes at 5 o'clock in the morning, your inflation technique might not be good as it is later in the day. Gas can escape, and this will reduce the number of balloons you can get from the cylinder. Bubbles are a big one. They are super stretchy, and if you overinflate them, it drastically reduces the number of balloons you will get from the cylinder. They take just a little bit of overinflation. It requires a lot more helium. And as you get to the bottom of cylinders, sometimes the pressure can suddenly drop and you may get a few less balloons, or it will take much longer to inflate. So for this reason, I tend to try and always have a second cylinder ready for when my current cylinder runs out. But with the current helium restrictions in place, this may not be an option for you. But if you can, it is always best. So I hope you found that super useful. To download the helium cheat sheet, simply head over to the blog, sign up for the free resource centre if you haven't already. You'll not only find the helium capacity information, but also how to price the helium required for balloons. There's a free masterclass on how to work out pricing for balloon orders. It's quick and easy. And then there's lots of great information on marketing your business. You'll find the link in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch. So until next time, stay amazing and bye for now. Hey guys, I really hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up, leave me a comment below, and make sure you subscribe. On YouTube, you can click the bell, or on Facebook, you can like and follow the page to get notifications of new videos as they come out. Be sure to check out the free resource library on the Balloon Biz Academy. It's packed full of information to help you get the fundamentals right in your business, and covers things like pricing, managing your helium supplies, marketing, all the things you need to get your business out there so you can grow and scale your business. I'm on a mission this year to help 1,000 balloon business owners, and I sincerely hope you're one of them. So until next time, stay amazing and bye for now.